we will study how the encoding is done in CDMA. Here it is shown a base station. Actually this is the concept here we are using is for mobile communication. We are seeing here is a cell. Cell is a small geographical area which has one base station and many or different mobile stations, or you can say mobile users. So this figure is showing a cell where there is a base station and we have two users who want to communicate. Actually there are many, if we see the practical scenario, what is the case that there are many users in a cell. For any in mobile communication, for any cell there will be one base station and there will be many mobile users who want to communicate with the by the help of that base station at the same time. So if we are using code division multiple access, we have seen that code division multiple access is multiple access of the channel by assigning different codes to different users. That means each user is assigned a unique code and sequence, and that is why this scheme is known as code division based multiple access scheme. So let us start the encoding of for code division multiple access. Suppose we want to transmit A0 to user 0 and A1 to user 1. That means A0 is the data which we need to transmit to user 0 and A1 is the data which we need to transmit to user 1. We are taking the simplest case of two user in a multi-user environment, or for the multiple access scheme we are only taking the two user case. That is the simplest case to be considered. So instead of sending the data directly through the channel, that means A0 and A1, we will rather be multiplying the data by a code. Why code? Because we are studying code division multiple access where every user is assigned a different code. That means the data which the user wants to transmit, actually what is happening, the data which the user wants to transmit is multiplied by that specific code which is assigned to him or her. So instead of transmitting A0 data directly, we will be multiplying this data A0 by a code which is given here as C0, which is 1111, and we are multiplying the data A1 which we want to transmit to user 1 by the code C1, and the code C1 is 1 minus 1 minus 1 1. Now these codes are not random. Basically these codes have certain properties. They need to fulfill those certain properties, then only they are used for code division multiple access. Like here the codes which we are studying, they are orthogonal codes. What are orthogonal codes we will see in the end of this lecture. Now when we multiply the data of user 0 by the code C0, what we get, 1 multiplied by A0 multiplied by 1 is A0, A0 multiplied by 1 is A0, A0 again multiplied by 1 is A0, and again A0 multiplied by 1 is A0. That means 4-bit code sequence we are using here. So for user 0 we will be getting the data multiplied by its code, and the value is for user 0 A0 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 A0. Similarly for user 1 also we will be multiplying the data by its unique code, and for user 1 we will get, by after multiplication, A1 minus A1 minus A1 and A1. Now what we will be transmitting, we will be multiplexing these two signals from both the for both these users, and we will be transmitting the total signal. Like see, we added for user 0 and user 1, we got A0 plus A1, then by multiplexing we got A0 minus A1, then A0 minus A1, and then A0 plus A1. This total signal will now be transmitted through the channel. That means different users, the signals from different users are merged and then they are transmitted like this. This is the transmitted signal. Now if we want to see that how the decoding will, or how the decipher process will take place, or the decoding process will take place at user 0. Now see, at user 0 what will happen, the transmitted signal which will be received that will be multiplied by the total transmitted signal will be at user 0, it will be multiplied by the same code which we used at the transmitter end, the code for user 0 which was actually 1111. तो यहाँ पर हम क्या करेंगे, हम उसी कोड से अपने जो हमें टोटल ट्रांसमिटेड सिग्नल रिसीव हुआ है उसको फिर से उस कोड से मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे। तो यहाँ पर जब मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे तो देखिए मल्टीप्लिकेशन के बाद हमें क्या मिल रहा है, ए नॉट प्लस ए वन प्लस ए नॉट माइनस ए वन प्लस ए नॉट माइनस ए वन प्लस ए नॉट माइनस ए वन, सारे ए वन हमारे कैंसिल आउट हो जाएंगे, हमें मिलेगा सिर्फ 4 ए नॉट। दैट मीन्स यूज़र ज़ीरो पर हमें सिर्फ यूज़र ज़ीरो का ही डेटा मिल रहा है जो कि बेसिकली हमने ट्रांसमिट किया था, जो था हमारा ए नॉट। यानी ए वन की वजह से जो भी इंटरफेरेंस था वो एट यूज़र ज़ीरो देखिए ज़ीरो मिल जा रहा है। एट यूज़र ज़ीरो हमें ए नॉट ही मिलना चाहिए था क्योंकि यूज़र ज़ीरो के लिए हमारा ट्रांसमिट भी ए नॉट हुआ था। और यहाँ पर जब हम डेसिफर कर रहे हैं रिसीवर पर तो हमें यूज़र ज़ीरो पर ए नॉट ही मिल रहा है, ए वन की वजह से जो इंटरफेरेंस था वो ज़ीरो हो जा रहा है। यहाँ पर अब जो 4 है दैट इज़ नॉट अ मैटर ऑफ कंसर्न, दिस 4 कैन बी removed, actually this is the gain which can be removed by using a frequency divider circuit। और ये 4 यहाँ पे क्या है और कैसे आ रहा है ये भी हम देखते हैं। अब देखिए मान लीजिए अब हम अगर यूज़र 1 की बात कर रहे हैं तो यूज़र 1 के लिए क्या होगा, यूज़र 1 को भी टोटल ट्रांसमिटेड सिग्नल रिसीव होगा। तो अब वहाँ यूज़र 1 पर अपने ओरिजिनल डेटा को डेसिफर करने के लिए हमें यूज़र 1 को उसके यूनिक कोड से टोटल ट्रांसमिटेड सिग्नल को मल्टीप्लाई करना पड़ेगा। तो यूज़र 1 के लिए जो कोड हमारा C1 था उसकी वैल्यू हमने देखा था, ट्रांसमिटर जो हमने किया था 1 -1 -1 1 थी। तो इस कोड से हम अपने पूरे रिसीव्ड सिग्नल को जो ट्रांसमिट हुआ है टोटल ट्रांसमिटेड सिग्नल उससे मल्टीप्लाई कराएंगे। तो फिर हमें क्या मिलता है, ए नॉट प्लस ए वन प्लस ए वन माइनस ए नॉट प्लस ए वन माइनस ए नॉट प्लस ए नॉट प्लस ए वन, दैट इज़ 4 ए वन प्लस 0। और यूज़र 1 पर हमें मिलना भी क्या चाहिए था, जो डेटा हमने यूज़र 1 के लिए ट्रांसमिट किया था विच वॉज ए वन, एंड हियर वी आर ऑल्सो गेटिंग ए वन। द इंटरफेरेंस ड्यू टू ए नॉट इज़ कैंसल्ड हियर, दैट मीन्स यूज़र 1 के लिए जो डेटा ट्रांसमिट हुआ जो कोड यूज़ करके ट्रांसमीटर पे, वही डेटा यूज़र 1 को मिल रहा है सेम कोड यूज़ करके। तो ये जो मल्टीप्लिकेशन प्रोसेस बेसिकली हम कर रहे हैं, इस मल्टीप्लिकेशन प्रोसेस को जो टोटल ट्रांसमिटेड सिग्नल को हमने अपने कोड से मल्टीप्लाई किया है, तो इस मल्टीप्लिकेशन प्रोसेस को बेसिकली हम कोरिलेशन बोलते हैं, दैट इज़ द कोरिलेशन वैल्यू। दैट इज़ द मल्टीप्लिकेशन। सी जैसे हमने यूज़र 0 के लिए टोटल ट्रांसमिटेड सिग्नल को उसके यूज़र कोड से मल्टीप्लाई किया था तो वहाँ पर हमको उसका डेटा डिकोड करके मिला था। तो दिस प्रोसेस ऑफ मल्टीप्लिकेशन इज़ नोन एज कोरिलेशन। नाउ दैट इज़ वाई this scheme is known as code division multiple access scheme, because we are assigning unique codes to different users and those same codes are used at the receiver end to decipher the original signal. Now these codes are also known as spreading codes. Why? Because they spread the bandwidth of the original signal। यानी अगर हमारा ओरिजिनल सिग्नल ए नॉट था उसकी आपकी जो भी बैंडविथ थी और जो आपने टोटल सिग्नल ट्रांसमिट किया मल्टीप्लाई उसके कोड से मल्टीप्लाई करके ऐड करने के बाद जो टोटल सिग्नल ट्रांसमिट हो रहा है उसकी बैंडविथ बहुत ज़्यादा हो जाएगी ट्रांसमिटेड सिग्नल की, क्योंकि ट्रांसमिटेड सिग्नल में हमारा डेटा मल्टीप्लाइड बाय कोड है। तो जब हम लो बैंडविथ के सिग्नल को हाई बैंडविथ के कोड से मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे तो जो रिजल्टेंट हमें बैंडविथ मिलेगी वो क्या हो जाएगी, बहुत ज़्यादा होगी। इसी वजह से ये जो कोड्स होते हैं इनको स्प्रेडिंग कोड्स कहा जाता है, बिकॉज दे स्प्रेड द बैंडविथ ऑफ द ओरिजिनल सिग्नल। नाउ हाउ दे आर स्प्रेडिंग द बैंडविथ ऑफ द ओरिजिनल सिग्नल, वाई द बैंडविथ ऑफ द ट्रांसमिटेड सिग्नल इज़ हायर देन दैट of the bandwidth of the original signal, we will see here. One thing more is important here, that I told that these codes are orthogonal in nature, that means they possess the property of orthogonality. What do we mean by this? This means that if we multiply these two codes we will get a 0, like if we multiply C0 by C1 you can see that here we are getting a 0. In the same way any two codes if we multiply we will get a 0. If this property is satisfied, that means codes are all orthogonal, and those orthogonal codes can be used for code division multiple access. There are many codes which can be used for this spreading. There are wash codes, gold codes, PN sequence, so there are many codes. Basically all these codes are spreading codes which spreads the bandwidth of the original signal. That is why CDMA, we say that CDMA uses spread spectrum modulation technique, and generally it uses direct sequence spread spectrum. Now we talked about that the signal is the original signal is spreaded when it is multiplied by the given code, and these codes, because they are spreading the bandwidth, are known as spreaded codes. We can see it mathematically here. We can prove this thing mathematically. Suppose the bandwidth of the original signal, which is the data which we transmitted for user 0, that was A0. The bandwidth is 1 kbps. The data rate is 1 kbps for A0. That means time per symbol 1 kilobit per second. So that means time per symbol will be what? 1 by 1 kbps. That means 1 millisecond. Now what is the bandwidth required for transmission? Bandwidth can be taken out by 1 upon t. That means 1 upon 1 millisecond, that will give 1 kilohertz. So if we talk about the bandwidth, then the bandwidth for A0 is 1 kilohertz. See, if we increase the bandwidth, data rate also increases, because the capacity of the increasing the bandwidth indicates what? That we are increasing the capacity of the channel. So increasing the bandwidth will increase the data rate. Now see, earlier symbol time was 1 millisecond. Now we multiplied our data by the coded sequence, and what we got after multiplication, if we are talking about user 0, after multiplication of the data A0 with its code C0, we got A0, 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 A0. These are called chips. Now earlier we saw that the symbol time here, it came to be 1 millisecond. Now if we talk about the chip duration TC, it will be 1 millisecond divided by 4, because we have a 4-bit code sequence and we are multiplying the data by that 4-bit code sequence. The chip duration will become equal to 1 millisecond divided by 4, which comes to be 0.25 millisecond. That means now if we talk about the bandwidth of the signal which needs to be transmitted, which will be transmitted after using the signals from different users and multiplexing them, we will be transmitting it. So the bandwidth after the multiplication of the data by the spreading code comes to be equals to 1 by TC. That TC we just calculated 0.25 millisecond, that is 1 by 0.25, which comes to be equals to 4 kilohertz. So now compare the bandwidth. The bandwidth of the original data was 1 kilohertz. The bandwidth of the data when it was multiplied by the code was increased significantly by 4 kilohertz. In the previous case the bandwidth was 1 kilohertz. Now the bandwidth is 4 kilohertz. So the bandwidth is increasing. Why it is increasing? Because we are multiplying the data by the codes, and those codes are spreading codes which are spreading the bandwidth of the original signal. That is why CDMA uses spread spectrum. We say that CDMA, a code division multiple access, uses spread spectrum communication. So this thing was mathematically proved here. Same thing is here. Same thing. These slides have been taken as reference from NPTEL notes. You can also see the notes from NPTEL. They will be quite helpful to understand this whole concept. So the codes are known as spreading codes because they spread the bandwidth. These codes C0, C1, which we just see. Now bandwidth is spreading by a factor of 4. We saw that when we were decoding the signal at the receiver, we got 4A0 and 4A1. So what was that 4? That 4 was basically the spreading factor of the code. That means it is if we talk about the spreading factor, it is basically the length of the spreading sequence. जैसे हमारा जो spreading sequence था वो 4 बिट का था, तो हमारा स्प्रेडिंग 4 बिट का कोड हमने दिखाया था C0 C1, तो हमारा लेंथ क्या था स्प्रेडिंग सीक्वेंस की? 4 बिट थी, 4 था लेंथ ऑफ द सीक्वेंस, तो हमारा स्प्रेडिंग फैक्टर भी क्या होगा? 4 होगा. इसीलिए बैंडविड्थ जो हमारी थी वो स्प्रेड, जो सिग्नल हमें रिसीव हो रहा था रिसीवर पर, इसीलिए वो 4 टाइम्स A0 मिल रहा था, क्योंकि वो स्प्रेड हो गया था बाय द फैक्टर ऑफ स्प्रेडिंग फैक्टर, जो कि हमारे केस में क्या था? स्प्रेडिंग फैक्टर n की वैल्यू हमारी 4 थी, क्योंकि हमारा 4 बिट का कोड सीक्वेंस था. अब देखिए यहाँ पर अगर हमारे पास 4 बिट का कोड है तो हमारे पास टोटल ऐसे 4 कोड्स हम जनरेट करा सकते हैं। यानी अगर एक कोड हमारा 4 बिट का है तो ऐसे हम टोटल 4 कोड्स यूज़ कर सकते हैं। और ये 4 कोड्स आपस में कैसे होने चाहिए, ऑर्थोगोनल होना चाहिए। मतलब कि एक कोड को अगर दूसरे कोड से हम मल्टीप्लाई कर रहे हैं तो दैट शुड कम इक्वल टू 0। दैट इज़ द कंडीशन ऑफ ऑर्थोगोनैलिटी। Suppose if you are multiplying C0 by C1, it should give 0. By C1 into C2, it should give 0. C2 into C3, it should give 0. So here it has shown for one that if we are multiplying C2 by C1, we are getting a 0. That means the codes are orthogonal. Now see, the number of orthogonal codes corresponds to length n. That means हमारे पास कितने ऑर्थोगोनल कोड्स होंगे ये हमें लेंथ एन से पता चल जाएगा। वही बात अभी जो बताया था जस्ट वही है कि अगर हमारा 4 बिट का कोड है तो हमारे पास ऐसे 4 कोड्स होंगे। अब अगर हमारे पास 4 कोड्स हैं तो हमारे उन 4 कोड्स को हम 4 यूज़र्स को दे सकते हैं। मतलब कि नंबर ऑफ़ यूज़र्स दैट कैन एक्सेस द कॉमन चैनल इज़ ऑल्सो 4। और या अगर हम जनरलाइज टर्म में बोलें कि हमारा n बिट का कोड था तो ऐसे n कोड्स हमारे पास होंगे और उन n कोड्स को n यूज़र्स के लिए यूज़ किया जा सकता है इन अ मल्टी यूज़र एनवायरनमेंट। जैसे यहाँ पर ये एक कोड दिया हुआ है, इट लुक्स लाइक अ रैंडम सीक्वेंस ऑफ +1 -1 दो इट इज़ नॉट रैंडम। इट लुक्स लाइक अ रैंडम सीक्वेंस बट इट विल बी नॉट रैंडम। These type of sequence are known as pseudo noise sequence or PN sequence or PN code, which we have already studied in the previous lectures. PN sequence, these sequence or these codes looks random, but actually they are not random. They are generated by a deterministic logic. That is why they are known as pseudo noise sequence, because they appear to be like noise, but actually they are not noise. They are spreading codes which are used in CDMA systems to spread the bandwidth of the original signal. The data is multiplied by these spreading codes, the bandwidth is spreaded, and these codes then these signals are transmitted over the channel, which fights the interference and which provides security in transmission. So this was the encoding and decoding process for the whole CDMA system we have seen. We took 2 users, the simplest case for a multi-user environment, and we saw that how the data was transmitted by multiplying by the code, multiplexing the signals, and then correlating at the receiver. So if we see, there are 3 basic things: that at the transmitter we are multiplying the data by the code, by its unique code. At the channel we are transmitting the total signal from different users, and at the receiver what we are doing, we are doing the correlation process, or we are correlating the transmitted signal with the code at the receiver. So these 3 processes are done at the transmitter, at the channel, and the receiver end. And the CDMA system, the working of the CDMA system can be easily understood.